Okay, welcome to the latest edition of the Iscah Q&A video series. This month's edition is about all sorts of things. 18 bumper questions we've got for you. 457 skilled visas, accountants, cafe managers, all sorts of stuff. So hopefully you find this useful and let's rock on. Okay, I'm still interested in looking for an opportunity through employer sponsorship. I've someone who's interested to offer me a business partnership by investing 50,000 Australian dollars. How will this help me get a visa? Okay, so immigration since late last year have not liked anyone paying for visa sponsorship. If they think what you're doing is giving some commercial benefit to a company in turn for them to sponsor you, they will call that paying for visa sponsorship and they'll refuse your application. So it needs to make sure it does not look like that. It sounds like that's what it is. And so I suspect that you won't be able to get that company to sponsor you. If instead you buy a company by yourself and that company has a genuine vacancy available, then that company can sponsor you for a permanent employer sponsored visa. They can also sponsor you for a 457 visa, but it is more difficult. The department look very closely at, I guess, what you might call self-sponsorship, but company sponsored is still a pathway. But in this scenario where you're going to pay $50,000 for a share in a business and they might sponsor you, my opinion is immigration will consider that as paying for visa sponsorship and very likely to refuse it. So not a good idea. Okay, I need some information regarding my visa case. I'm on a bridging visa. I've applied for a 489. I've now increased my points because of a better Pearson marks to 65 points as an accountant, updated my EOI. Can I still get an invite for a 189 visa or a 190 visa? Okay, so once you've accepted the invitation for the 489 visa, that kills your EOI. If you've got the 189 or 190 attached to that, you will not get an invite under those categories because the EOI is dead. You've used it for the 489 visa. What you need to do is lodge a second EOI. That allows you to put a 189 and a 190 visa on there, and then you can get an invite later on for one of those permanent visas. There's no penalty that you've applied for a 489 visa as far as immigration are concerned. If you can get an invite for a 189 and 190, you can also accept that with your second EOI. That solves your problem. Okay, when are the state sponsorship rounds expected for this year for the visa 190? Okay, so there aren't rounds for state sponsorship. What happens is as soon as the state government decides to invite you to lodge a 190 visa or a 489 state sponsored visa, they can do it any time of the year. They don't have to wait to the first and third Wednesday of the month like the 189 visa. They can invite you straight away, and as soon as they do and they advise immigration, immigration will invite you the same day, so there aren't actually rounds for those visas. Okay, I want to ask a quick question about a food court cafe. Can they sponsor as a cafe manager? They're open for lunch, dinner and takeaway. Okay, it's got to be a cafe. If it is a cafes generally have table service. They have food that's prepared almost from scratch, from raw ingredients, and they employ cooks. That's what a cafe looks like. If that's what it looks like, yes, they can sponsor as a restaurant manager. If instead, or cafe manager, if instead it's not a cafe and it looks like a fast food outlet, so part of a franchise, pre-prepared food, no table service, that sort of fast food, they can't sponsor as a cafe manager. They could sponsor as a retail manager, but that will only work for RSMS because retail manager is not on the 457 list. Okay, hi, I'm doing my Bachelor's of Hospitality and Tourism Management. I want to know any scope for PR after finishing my course. Okay, so those type of studies is not on the skilled occupation list, so you can't go 189. It might be on a state list as the states renew all their state shortage lists for the new program here. But even if it was, you still have to get a skills assessment from VetAssess, and VetAssess require 12 months work experience in the last 5 years before you can apply under that particular occupation. So because you need the 1 year work, most people with those studies will actually go to that same company who's offering the 1 year work and say, hey, will you sponsor me for a company sponsored visa, 457, 187, something like that. Very rarely would you go through the points test because you need the 1 year work first, then you've got to hope a state sponsors you. those occupations are not really a good pathway for points test. They're company sponsored type studies. Hello sir, I've done my Masters in Accounting, I live in Melbourne, my sister lives in Canberra and she's an Australian citizen. I want to know, can I get 10 points even though I live in Melbourne and she lives in Canberra? Okay. First answer, yes you can. It doesn't matter that she's in a different regional area. You can carry on living in Melbourne even after a 489 visa is granted, as long as she's living in a regional area now when she sponsors you. So that's okay. The problem is accountants will not get an invite for the 489 family sponsored program this year because all the places will go to the 189 visa and there'll still be a lot of 189s who don't get an invite. So it doesn't really help you at the moment. Hi sir, I've got my 186 approval 1 month ago, still working there. My question is, can I leave my job giving 2 weeks notice? Will it have any effect on my PR? Okay, so on the 186 visa, if on the day that visa was granted you intended to remain with them for the next 2 years, but after that day, a month later in this case, you don't wish to anymore, either they're making you redundant or you don't like the job or whatever it is, you can leave and you will not get your visa cancelled under the 186. It's different for the 187 RSMS, but for the 186, as long as you intended to work 2 years, you can change your mind afterwards and there's no visa cancellation. Okay, g'day sir, I'm an Indonesian citizen. I've only ever lived there for no more than 6 months. Do I need a police clearance? Okay, you need a police clearance from every country you've lived in for more than 12 months cumulatively and since you turned 16 and in the last 10 years. So if you've lived for 6 months in Indonesia, 2 months in Australia, 6 months back in Indonesia, that's 12 months. You need a police clearance from that country if that's happened since you turned 16 and in the last 10 years. Okay. My 457 visa expires in 3 years' time. Does it mean that if I apply for a 189 visa this October, do I have any problems going overseas for holidays? No. If your 457 is still valid, in this case it is, and you're still working for that company in that position, you can travel on that visa. That's cool. I've completed Cert 3 in cooking, Cert 4 in cooking, Diploma of Hospitality, Diploma of Business Management. I don't have 360 hours. Can I apply for TR? Okay, I presume by TR you mean a 485 visa. You need a skills assessment from the TRA in order to be approved. But to apply for the 485 visa, you just have to have applied for the TRA skills assessment. You don't need to get it approved straight away. So what you can do is go to the TRA now, even though you haven't got 360 hours, apply for the skills assessment. That will allow you to apply for the 485 visa. The TRA will come back a month or two later and say, hey, you haven't got the 360 hours, we've knocked back your skills assessment. As long as their criteria doesn't change, you can then go back to the TRA when you do have your 360 hours, hopefully just a few months later, get the approved skills assessment, then give it to immigration, and then they'll be happy with your 485 visa. So that's the way you do that, 2 TRA assessments. Can I do the TRA provisional assessment before completing my diploma? Yep, no problems. You don't have to complete the 2-year study to get a TRA provisional skills assessment. You do have to complete the Cert 4 and ultimately your 360 hours. So once you've done that, you can get the TRA skills assessment even though you haven't completed the 2 years of study, which presumably you'll finish shortly afterwards. Okay, another TRA question. Can the Job Ready program be undertaken on any other visa other than a 485 visa? Okay. Short answer is probably yes. The TRA have said if you've got a visa that gives you unlimited work rights, or I guess work rights to work for the company that you're doing the Job Ready program through, and the visa is long enough to complete the steps of the Job Ready program, which is generally about 12 months, then at their discretion they can approve you to do that, even on, for example, in this case, I guess a 457 visa. So they haven't said 100% yet, but they have said if you can work on it and you can work for the 12 months, we may well let you go through the Job Ready program in those circumstances. So that's good. In relation to the 20th of July round, you guys have highlighted that immigration is not able to fulfill their quota. True. Not enough for 60 points. True. And at the end, you guys predict that immigration might relax the pro rata occupational numbers. Can you please clarify exactly what you mean? Look, immigration have got a lot of limitations on how they fill their migration program now. They've got quite a few pro rata occupations that they don't want to go over on their target at this stage, and they've got limits on the 489 family sponsorship in terms of which occupations can be allocated for that category, and none of the pro rata ones look like they will be. As a result, not many people are getting to the points, the 60 points needed to meet their program target for the year, and that's their big target. They want to hit their program target really closely. So at this stage, what we're speculating is where they're going to get the numbers from, where they're going to get these extra places, because they're already short of numbers because there's so many limiting factors on basically occupations that most people want to migrate under. So immigration could either relax the 489 policy and invite some people under pro rata occupations for that. They could give more places to the state governments for their allocation for 489 state sponsored and 190, or they might relax the pro rata occupations. But at this stage there's going to be a lot of pressure for them to do something. So we're just giving you a bit of analysis, and we'll probably update that in 3 or 4 months' time and tell you what we think. Okay, in February 16, completed a Masters in Professional Accounting 12 subjects, which was equivalent to 72 weeks of study. Also completed 4 units for a previous course that wasn't completed. Can I count that towards the 2-year study rule? Okay, in short, you can't. If you want to count study towards a 2-year study rule, you have to complete that qualification. Okay, so in this case, you completed 4 units, didn't complete the qualification, so that can't count. So the only thing that can count at this stage is your MPA, and by what you're saying here, it's only 72 weeks, doesn't meet the 2-year study rule. The only times you can count studies for a qualification you haven't completed is if those units are then used as credit towards a qualification you do complete, and then that later qualification is what you can count. So in this case, you're still short of the 2-year study rule. Hi sir, my skills assessment was done in 2012 as a chef from VetAssess. Can I use it for a 189, or do I need to apply for a new skills assessment? Okay, you're going to have to apply for a new skills assessment, because at the maximum, a skills assessment is only valid for 3 years. Some of them are valid for less than that if the skills assessment letter says it's less, but no more than 3 years. So in this case, yours is nearly 4 years old, need a new skills assessment, buddy. Okay, I've got a bachelor's degree in accounting. My organisation want to sponsor me as an IT professional. Am I eligible for a 457 visa? Okay, so lodge a nomination as an IT professional. Case officer will say that requires a certain level of skill, and they'll say it needs to be a bachelor degree in IT or 5 years full-time work experience in IT. If you've got that, no problems. You can go 457. If you haven't, then you won't meet the skill level. Your bachelor degree in accounting is not related to that occupation. Okay, hi sir, I've got some questions about RSMS. I'm working at a takeaway shop. Owners willing to support me for RSMS. What kind of qualifications do I need? I'm studying a music course at the moment. Okay, so the only occupation that will work for a takeaway shop, if it's busy enough, is a retail manager. Retail manager needs a diploma related to retail management, so business diploma, diploma in management, or a bachelor degree that's business orientated, or 3 years full-time work experience. Degree in music's obviously not going to help, so you need those skills. If you've got those skills, retail manager is possible. If you haven't, find another job. It's not going to work. Hi, I got 7 in each yesterday, make my point 65 for business analyst, 189. Can you please tell me how long it will take for an invitation? Okay, so it looks like 70 points at the moment for that occupation. There's a 7-month backlog from what we can see at 65 points, looking back through some old invitations. So yeah, probably 7 months, and hopefully that fits in before the numbers run out for this program year. It should do. I think you should have a good chance there. Okay folks, that's it for this week. Hope that's helped you a lot. Remember, the rules are always changing, so if you have any questions at all, get in touch with us at www.iscah.com. We're happy to give you a consultation, answer questions for you, or if you need, manage your visa application. That's all for now, and I'll talk to you soon. See you later.